Hello friends, this is Node Chat application tutorial series with MongoDB Database. And in this part, we will show you how to fetch user data from database. Based on user ID store in JWT token and display on chat area web page. In previous part, we have completed login form by using JWT token, and under JWT token, we have store user ID details. So based on this user ID, we will fetch user data from MongoDB database and display on web page. So for this, we have goes to chat.html file, and here we have paste this HTML code. So this code will make skeleton of chat area, and here we have to write span tag with ID attribute is equal to login user image. So under this tag, we will display login user profile image. Next, we have create one division tag with class attribute is equal to margin top 3 and margin bottom 3 class. And after this, we have to write ID attribute is equal to login user name. So under this tag, we will display login user name. Now we have goes to JavaScript code, and here we have create one user data variable. So under this variable, we will store user data. After this, we have to create token variable is equal to local storage.getItem function. And under this function, we have to write token variable, so it will fetch token variable value from local storage. Now we want to check user is login or not, so for this, we have to write if statement, and under condition, we have to write not operator with token variable. If user is not login, then it will execute if block of code, and here we have to write window.location.href attribute is equal to slash, so it will redirect web page to login page. And if user is login into system, then else block of code will execute. Now we want to fetch user data from MongoDB and display on web page. So here, we have create one asynchronous function with set user data function. Under this function, we have to write fetch method with two parameter. In first parameter, we have to write /set user data routes name. And in second parameter, we have to define different option of fetch API. So here, we have to write headers option, and this option, we will use for send token data. So here, we have to write authorization key, and in value, we have to write token variable. So here, we have passed token variable value in HTTP request. After this, we have to write then function with response variable as argument. And under this block, we have to write return statement with response.json function. So it will convert data into JSON string, and after this, we have to write then callback function with data variable as argument. Under this function, we have to write user data variable is equal to data.user. So here, we have to store user data under this local user data variable. After this, we want to display user first name on web page. So here we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this, we have to write division tag ID value, login user name. After this, we have to write text content property is equal to user data.first name. So it will display login user first name on web page. After this, we want to display user profile image. So here we have to write document.getElementById method, and under this method, we have to write span tag ID login user image. And after this, we have to write, inner HTML property is equal to, image tag, with source is equal to, uploads directory name, /userdata.image, so it will display, login user profile image, on web page. So here, our JavaScript function is ready, and we have called this function, under else block of code. So if user is login, then login user name, and image will be display, when page has been load. Now we have goes to server file, and here, we have to make, one middleware to check JWT token. So here, we have create, one verify token function, with request, response and next variable as argument. Under this function, we have to write, constant token variable is equal to request.headers.authorization, so here it will get token value from HTTP header, and store under this local variable. After this, we have to write, if statement, and under condition, we have to write, not operator token variable. If token value is not received from HTTP headers, then it will execute, if block of code. And here, we have to write, return statement, with response.status function, with 401 status code. After this, we have to write, JSON function, and under this function, we have to write, error as key, and in value, we have to write, access denied, no token provided, so this error will be sent to client. After this, for handle error, here we have use, try and catch block. In try block, we have to write, decoded variable is equal to, JWT.verify function, with 2 argument. In first argument, we have to write, token variable, and in second argument, we have to write, secret key variable, so it will decode JWT token, and store under this, decoded variable. After this, we have to write, request.user is equal to decoded, so here, we have store decoded token data, under this request.user variable. And after this, we have called, next function, so it will execute next code. But during decoding process, if there is an error occur, then this catch block of code will execute. And here, we have to write, response.status function, with 401 status code. And after this, we have to write, JSON function, and under this, we have to write, error as key, and in value, we have to write, error message like, invalid token, so this error will be sent to client. So here, our middleware is ready, for check JWT token. Now we have to create, routes for handle client request. So here, we have to write, app.get function, with 3 argument. In first argument, we have to write, /set user data. In second argument, we have to write, verify token middleware, so it will call this middleware, before executing, this routes block of code. And in third argument, we have to write, asynchronous callback function, with request and response variable. Under this function, we have to write, user ID variable is equal to, request.user.user_id variable. So here, request.user.user_id value has been get from, verify token variable. Now for fetch user data from MongoDB Database, so here, we have to write, user variable is equal to, await keyword, with user model.findById function, with user ID variable as argument. So this code will fetch, particular user data, from MongoDB Database. Now we want to send, user data to client, so here, we have to write response.status function with 200 status code. And after this, we have called JSON function with user variable as argument, so here, it will send data to client. So here, our code is ready. Now for check output in the browser, we have goes to terminal window. And here, we have run node server.js file, so it will start node development server. So friends, here in browser, we can see login form on web page. So we have enter register user login details under this login form. Now we have click on login button. So after click on login button, here we can see that user has been logged into system, and here on web page, at left side, we can see login user profile image, and below it, we can see that login user first name details. So here, when user has been logged and come on this page, then it will called set user data function, which send request to server, and with request, it has been send token data in HTTP header. And at server side, it has encode token data and fetch user ID data from token, and based on that user ID, it has fetch login user data from MongoDB Database. So in this part, we have make one middleware for check JWT token data, and then after, we have fetch user data from MongoDB Database, and then after, display user profile and name details on web page. In next part, we will show you how to log out from this chat application and change user status from login to logout, so we will be meet in next part.